Should we be scared of what is happening in China? For those people in the West, for example, Europe, America, Australia, example. We always see videos on Twitter and YouTube of the facade of these cities in China. And basically, they have the building the same as the West, like in Shanghai and Shenzhen and Beijing, but they put on the flashing lights to make them look modern. It's not a big thing to do. Yes, it does look nice, but they are saying, oh, we're better than America because we know how to put on a blue or white light onto a building. The same for the trains. But if you go back in time, think of Kuala Lumpur for those people who have been to Malaysia and the capital of that country, KL, Kuala Lumpur, where they've had these overground trains for years and years. Driverless, exactly the same. They just don't have the blue lights on it. So what about the Chinese army? Quite often we see videos like this. Are you worried about it? I wouldn't be. It's just showing millions of people who are in the army. Now, China doesn't have any experience related to mass forces. The West has. Look at Germany, for example. They took over most of Europe in 1930-something, and war started in 1939, ending in 1945 with the nuclear bomb in Hiroshima or Hiroshima. And the Western forces united, came together and defeated the evil empire or Nazi regime. You know what I'm trying to say there. So the USA and the West have the experience. China doesn't with that. And how are they training their forces? And they say they are a peace-loving country, but we see these kind of big parades every now and again. I don't know when this video that I shot was taken, but it's sort of there to make you worried and go, oh, look at the Chinese army, etc. Let's have a look at the morale of the American army. This video I just shown you, I think it's quite modern, I think it's quite new. I just got it on Twitter and just taken it from there to show you. That's the power, that's the morale. And the thing is, if there was some kind of conflict between Taiwan and Taiwan, or the country of Taiwan, and mainland China, the forces would join together. So not only would China have to deal with America, but also England, France, Germany, Italy, Australia, etc. And that experience put all together in one, and if they did help Taiwan, for example, China would lose a catastrophic defeat. But the whole empire, you would say, would be not just the army loss, but is the loss to the world, because trade would sort of cease. Everything we have, this cup, for example, is made in China. Things in the West would become a lot more expensive. It will all sort itself out, but we could find ourselves in a recession, not just in Europe and America, but also China. So it's not advisable in any shapes, means, or forms. The solution is quite simple: talks and getting things sorted, but having talks with people who can get things done. Xi Jinping talks the talk. Joe Biden talks the talk, but they both don't walk the walk. They are two useless leaders. Now, you can possibly hate me for that, and I know some people do support Joe Biden, and we really don't know about how many people in China really like their leader Xi Jinping, who's made himself dictator for life, like the father of modern China, Mr. Mao. You may have seen my video earlier of Homer giving a little kiss or having a look at Mao Zedong in his place of rest, so to speak. So what do you think related to this? This is sort of like a coffee chat kind of discussion that I want to have with you now, in a way that it seems to always have the propaganda between the East and the West, so to speak. And the thing is, it's so ill-advised. It's so ill-advised for this to get done, because the normal person in China who is suffering at the moment because of the economic downturn, if this went into it, it's going to be just awful. Many people say, why don't America put their money into housing, education, better systems, etc.? And they say China doesn't. Well, it actually does, and they're putting a lot more in recent years into the military because of the situation of Taiwan. Why don't the people revolt? Because basically they're scared. I would be definitely scared, and it's got to start somehow, somewhere. They did in Tiananmen Square, but they saw what the army did to the people way back in 1989. Get rid of them. Doesn't matter, they're your brother or your sister. They are all Chinese. So if it was going to happen, then, but people would actually say it's not going to happen. I hope and pray, like everyone, it doesn't happen. But I do think that something possibly is going to happen maybe in the next 5 to 10 years in China. It's slowly brewing. I think people are tired of communist rule. They want to break away from it. But if you look at Vietnam, it's a really good example for you that it is communist. People can't vote for the leader, but is an accepted democracy, is accepted capitalism, and it works. It works. I repeat, it works in Vietnam. And look at Russia before. It was communist. Now it's not, but Putin, the war criminal Putin, is actually coming into Cuba with his nuclear-powered devices very close, or 80 kilometers away from the Florida shore. What's going on there? I don't know. Is it another Cuban Missile Crisis? I don't know with that. But are we ready for another world war? This time with the nuclear capability on both sides. Personally, I don't think it's going to happen in our lifetime, but we don't know. I was wrong about Brexit in 2016. I really think that Donald Trump wasn't going to win the election, and Hillary did. Maybe I was convinced or brainwashed by CNN, because that's the main news network I was watching at the time. I know this is a bit of a waffle, and I'm not heading in any one direction. But the thing is, I think we need sort of like changes, and some omitting changes. And sometimes you need to take away the politics for this change. I think business leaders are really good politicians, to be honest with you. And the people I liked before Margaret Thatcher, great politician, great leader. You can disagree with me. I like Boris Johnson. I don't really care that he had a Tea Party during COVID, and that's how he was taken down. I don't like the Prime Minister of England. I don't really like Joe Biden. I can't stand Putin. You can disagree again. And I don't really like Xi Jinping. I think people do want to change, and it's only him dictating that he is the leader for life, where the constitution in China, which he has changed, was only 2 terms of president or leader of the country. It is all food for thought, and I would love to hear some of your comments. Now, please, for the people who get angry with me, don't call me a big fat white pig, for example. I'm just expressing some logical points of view. This is my cat behind me called Pickle. She's being a naughty little kitten today, aren't you? Now she's going to bite my leg. Thank you so much for your time. And again, comments in the comment section below. Please do like. It really helps the algorithm. Share if you want to say, share this with your friends on social media. I do put these all on Twitter. I do occasionally put it on Facebook. All the links are in the description below. And if you do want to support this channel financially, then please do so. The links again are all in the description below. I do have plans for this channel, and I do want to sort of go in a different direction, but I do want to give you information and tips about this region of the world, especially here in Cambodia, in Thailand, yeah, but I want to explore more of Thailand, but I'm wondering how to do it financially in order to continue doing this, if that makes sense. Waffling, yeah, so I'm going to leave it there for now. Thank you so much for your time. Bye-bye.